Perfect. So now you'll see this is, once you log in, this is going to be your dashboard. This is your home page. If ever you get stuck anywhere and you need to get back, just go to the home page, the dashboard. You'll have your trip plans listed as well as your travelers listed. You can create a new trip if you want to create something that's going to be saved. So all of these are trip plans that I've created, and I can delete them if I needed to by clicking delete, or I can keep them around and keep using them if I need to. I prefer to create a trip plan because it doesn't take much time at all. So I'll show you both a quick way to send information as well as kind of a more in-depth creating a trip plan way of sending information. You also have your travelers down here at the bottom. So you can create a new traveler by clicking create new traveler. You'll also be able to create a new traveler once you create a trip plan. So if you think to do it before you send information or before you create anything, go ahead and click create new traveler. The only thing you have to have when you create a new traveler is the first name, last name, and email address. That's what we are required to have in order to be able to email these travelers this trip plan information. You can also add some additional information and then some preferences as well. I always tell people to add as much information as possible because these travelers are always going to be saved in your travel42. So if you go in travel42 and think, oh, let me reach out to this person, it's their birthday, or let me reach out to this person because it's their anniversary, you'll be able to see all that information here under additional or preferences. So that's the traveler section. You'll also notice within travel42, this is just something that's very helpful. A lot of these little triangles, what these are, and you'll notice these a lot more nowadays, it's a way to minimize and maximize information. So if you click on the triangle, it'll minimize. That way it doesn't take up as much as your screen. If you click on the triangle again, it'll maximize, and then you can see all the information you need. So you'll see a lot of these triangles throughout the website. That's just so that it saves you space on your computer. That way you don't have to read anything you don't want to read, and you don't have to see anything you don't want to see. So what next? Let's see, dashboard trip plans. There are two different views for trip plans. So I have mine saved to list view. I like being able to see these in a list. I like being able to see when this trip plan was last modified, last delivered, and last viewed by the client. You can also go into the grid view. This one will show a little bit more of a pretty picture with the trip plan. So you'll be able to see the pictures above. You'll also be able to see the trip plan dates, and then you'll also be able to see the name of the trip plan. So it's totally up to you which one you would prefer. All of those, I believe, can be updated in the profile, but you can switch between them at any time. I just like to keep mine on the list view. So first off, we're going to go into the quick send and quick print. Say I just need to log on real quick and send somebody some information on, let's say, Rome. So you'll notice your search bar up here. Search for destination guides, hotels, see and do, cruises, and more. Anything you need to search for can be typed in this search bar. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Rome because I want to send my client, let's say, information on Rome as well as some hotels. So you'll see it pops up with some suggestions for you, some destination guide suggestions, hotel suggestions, cruise suggestions, see and do suggestions, and then you can also see all the results by hitting enter or the magnifying glass. So for this instance, I want to see all my search results. So I'm going to click on the magnifying glass. So now it'll pull up that same information, just a little bit more in depth. So I have 2 destination guides that popped up. I have 224 see and do, which can include dining, recreation, beaches, any sort of see and do for that destination. I have 1,418 hotels, no cruise ships, but then I have 5 cruises that must go through Rome or must port or depart from Rome. So let's see, I'm going to go to hotels first. So I know I want to see hotels in Rome. That's what I'm wanting to send to my client. So I'm going to click on the hotels tab. Now you'll notice I have some filter bars over here. So I can filter it by star rating. So if I only wanted to see 5-star hotels, I would simply just click on the 5-star. You can do that with any of the other options as well, or you can uncheck it to completely get rid of that filter. You can show hotels that only have a review. So we do not have all properties reviewed, but we do try to get most of the properties reviewed. And we specifically send our people who we've trained to these hotels to review exactly what they see in person. So anything that's written for a review on one of these hotels, that's exactly what they saw while they were there. You can search by amenity rating, filter by name, filter by first letter of the hotel. So if say you don't know the hotel name, but you know it starts with an A, you can filter it by the first letter of the hotel. Let's see, the chain hotel rep, the hotel size, and then you have some hotel preferences and locations down here as well once you click show more. So I'm going to go ahead, I want to send this one to my client. So you'll notice when I hover over it, I have some options. Add item. If I wanted to add this to a trip plan, I can add it to a trip plan. I can view details if I wanted to see what's included in this hotel. I can send, I can print, or I can compare up to 3 properties. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and click, let's go to view details, but I do want to make note that if you know you want to send this hotel to your client or you want to print it for your client, you just have to click one of these buttons. If you know of the specific hotel you want to send or print, this is the quickest way to get it to them. Hover over that hotel and hit send or print. That will send all of the hotel description to them. But I'm going to click view details because I want you guys to see what is included in these hotel reviews that we have within travel42. So I'm going to click on view details. You'll notice I have those same send and print buttons up here. They do exactly the same thing. They send or print all of this information. So if you want to send or print this hotel, you can also click the buttons up here to the left. But this is where, this is all of the information we have listed within the hotel. We have the overview, we have the photo gallery. We also have some booking information, but that is never included in a traveler's report. So you don't ever have to worry about sending that to them. Then we have our star review. We break it down by location and history, property overview, accommodations, non-standard amenities, advisor notes, and then comparable properties. Then we can go to property, which describes exactly what's listed within that hotel. So room amenities, hotel facilities, restaurants on site, meeting facilities, recreation, rates and policies and location. And then there's also a map included so they can see exactly where they will be staying in regards to the destination itself. So that's basically what is included in that hotel, and also how to send and print it quickly for your clients. So we're going to go back up here to search Rome. These are breadcrumbs. This will take you back to where you've previously been. So if I wanted to go back to the dashboard, I would simply click dashboard over here. But I want to go back to the search results where I just was when I searched for Rome. So I'm going to click search Rome. And I wanted to show you the destination guide as well. So you can send destination guides quickly or print them quickly, just like we did with the hotels. So if I knew I wanted to send them all of Rome, Italy, I simply hover over Rome, Italy and click send or print. So that's just a very quick way to get some information to your clients if you don't want to create a trip plan. But I'm going to go into a little bit more detail and show you exactly how to create a trip plan. So let's go back to the dashboard and create a trip plan there. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to click create new trip. The only thing you need to create a new trip is just the trip plan name itself. So I always like to tell people, think you're creating a folder. Right now, that is the process that we're working on. We're creating a folder. Then we're going to add information into that folder, and that's the information that's going to be sent to our client and saved until we ever want to delete it or get rid of it. So for now, let's go in and we'll title this Jamaica. Let's do Jamaica honeymoon. Especially prepared for, if you wanted to type in a specific name like such and such family vacation or the Miller family, you can put that in here. If you want to send it to somebody, I would suggest putting it as a traveler here. So I mentioned earlier, you can add a new traveler while you're creating a trip plan. So if you already have a traveler saved, if you've already sent them information before or created them a traveler profile, all you have to do is simply type in their name here or their email. You'll see it in the drop down, and there we go. I've then added my client or my traveler into this trip plan. So when I send information, I can send it directly to their email address. If you needed to add a traveler, you simply just push this plus button up here and you'll get the same information as we did on the dashboard when we click create new traveler. Now I know I already have my traveler, so I'm going to just put in myself. The suggested retail price, that's what the cost of all of this information you're sending them would be. You can leave it blank, you can delete it, you can add your own number in there. That is optional. Departure and return are also optional. Comments and trip notes are optional. Comments are displayed to clients. So this is displayed to them when you send them or print them the trip plan. So anything you put here, make sure you want them to see it. Trip notes are not displayed to the client. So this is information just for you alone. Next step is the layout. This is some options that you have for your trip plan. So you can opt to show the cover page, the trip summary, which think of that as your table of contents, your business card, which is all of your information. So anything you want the clients to see in relation to your business card, such as your address, your phone number, your email address. That's what the business card is including. Show images in online view and show images in PDF view. The online view is the view that they'll see when you send them this information. The PDF view is the trip plan as it's printed or turned into a PDF, so it's easier to print. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll keep the images in the online view, but turn them off for PDF view. Sometimes printing images just takes up a little too much ink. So it's nicer to have them in the online view than it is in the printed view. But if you have a very nice printer and you don't mind, just keep those images there and you can print them off as needed. You can always change this as well. So if you're printing a trip plan for somebody and they don't even want any images, you can go back to this trip plan and just simply uncheck. And there you go. Those images won't show up in the PDF view. You can also add a cover photo by uploading or linking an image. Otherwise, if you don't do that, we will pick one from the items you add to the trip plan. So you do not have to add an image. Next, we're going to create new trip. This will take us to basically our blank folder where now we can begin searching for information and adding it to our trip plan. So my trip plan is Jamaica honeymoon. That's what I titled it. My collection, so far I have nothing. This is a blank folder. Now I have to search for information to add to this folder. So I'm going to start by searching for Jamaica. And we'll do it a little bit different this time. So instead of hitting the magnifying glass to pull up all the search results, I know I want to start with Jamaica as a destination guide. I always, in my preference, like starting with the destination guide. If you're sending destination information, if you're sending a hotel, obviously you can just go straight to that hotel by searching for it in the search bar. But if you're going to add destination guides, I always start out with the destination as a whole, and then I'll dig down a little bit deeper into the littler destinations that I need to send them to. So first, I'm going to go ahead and click on Jamaica. This is going to take me to the Jamaica overview. This is the destination guide. So it's the same information that was in the legacy site. If you saw the legacy site, we have the overview, see and do, dining, safety, tips, events, and then the hotels and related tab. You'll notice the hotels and related tab does not have a little box beside it. That means you can't just simply add all of this. You have to go to these tabs one by one and add the information you want from there. And I'll show you that once we go through the overview and all the rest of the tabs. So these checkboxes to the left allow you to add information into that folder. So if I wanted to add at a glance, which is this information right here, I can simply check it over here to the left. If I want to add the photo gallery, I can check it over here to the right or the left. Both of these checkboxes do the exact same thing, which is adding that piece of information to your trip plan. If I wanted the whole overview tab added to the trip plan, I simply just check on the overview tab and everything has been added. If I decide I don't want history any longer, simply uncheck history and it's no longer added to my trip plan. You don't have to do anything in regards to saving the information. Once there is a checkbox beside it, that means it has been added and you are good to go. It is automatically saved in your trip plan, and we'll see that when we go back to our Jamaica honeymoon trip. There's also an option to apply a destination template. This allows you to see all of the information within the destination guide and pick and choose kind of a little bit more quickly. So here you're basically reading through everything like, okay, I want to read this to learn more about it myself. But if you wanted to quickly get this done, you know exactly what you want to send them, click apply destination template. And now you'll see all those items here. Now I have it saved so that anytime I pull up a template, it does the full guide. But you can opt to do a business template, which is more for a business traveler, a cruise template, which would be more for a cruise travel, traveler, and then a leisure template, which would be more for a leisure traveler. So full is just the full destination guide. It adds everything. Let's click on leisure and you'll notice it changes it up just a little bit. It adds information that a leisure traveler may want. Now you can also go in here and pick and choose the items you want. Say you picked leisure template, but you really wanted the photo gallery in there. You can go ahead and check that photo gallery, and now the photo gallery has been added to that template. In order to save this template and make sure that it reflects within your trip plan, you need to hit save. Always remember when there's a modal that pops up, it's probably going to tell you to click save. So I'm going to go ahead and click save on that. And there we go. There's all the information we added. Let's see, and we'll go through some of this too. I want you to see exactly what information is included, but the Jamaica as a whole is not going to have as much information as one of the like Ocho Rios or Negril Jamaica, but I'll show you that over here under the related tab. So now we have the see and do, then we have dining, safety, tips. Tips is my favorite tab, especially the do's and don'ts. I always add that into my trip plan, which you'll see that it's checked over here to the right. This tells you some do's and don'ts for that area that you may not be aware of or your travelers may not be aware of. Geostats, then we have money, what to wear, transportation, additional resources. Then we can go to our events tab. This one just has some information on the events. Next, we'll go into our hotels tab. So I'm going to click on the hotels tab. You'll see it set up just like the search results for. I have each individual hotel, and I also still see those send and print buttons. I'm going to advise you not to utilize those buttons if you're creating a trip plan. Remember, creating a trip plan allows you to pick and choose the items that you want to add without it sending or printing all of the information. So if you send and print over here, you're sending and printing everything within that hotel, not necessarily what's in your trip plan. So I'm going to go ahead and look at these details. I'm going to click view details. That'll pull up my hotel that I want to look at. I'm going to go ahead and click check for the overview. I want to add the basic and the photo gallery. I want to add the star review as well. And then we'll go to property. Now these you can pick and choose: room amenities, hotel facilities, definitely restaurants. I don't need the meeting facilities, but recreation. Let's go ahead and add the rates and policies and then the location. And then we'll add the map as well. Perfect. All right, so we're good there. So now I need to go back to my destination guide. So I'm going to go back to my Jamaica hotels. That was where I was within the destination guides. And I'm going to click on the related tab. So this will show me destinations within or near the destination I am on. So right now I'm in Jamaica. I'm going to click related. You'll notice we have Negril, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Port Antonio. The list goes on and on. But anytime you see or you're in a destination and you want to find places near or around that destination, click on the related tab and it'll populate some information for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click view details on Ocho Rios. This is where they're going to be staying. So I want to add the whole overview tab. Let's see, but I'm going to take away port information because they're not doing any cruising. Next, we can go to see and do, and this is where I wanted to show you that there is a lot more information in the Ocho Rios guide than there was in the Jamaica guide, because it actually pinpoints specific locations such as Mystic Mountain Rainforest, some casinos, historic sites, nature, parks and recreation, wildlife, boating and sailing. So now we can add this information. You'll notice there's these gold ticket items here over to the left. Those are items that we highly recommend. So if you go ahead and add those, it will be a wonderful trip. We'll add all historic sites. Dunn's River Falls, I've been there before and that was a lot of fun. Some parks and gardens. Let's do beaches, add all beach items. And I just got a question about how do you know when you're in a trip plan? The only way to get out of a trip plan is by clicking save and close, and I will get to that here in just a moment. So let's go over to dining. We'll click dining, safety, tips, events. And then there's also a hotels, cruises, and related tab for this destination as well. So if I wanted to go into the hotels, I've already added couple Sansuchi. Now we can add in Jamaica Inn. If I click add item up here, it adds everything within that hotel. So by clicking add item, it's just been added. We can do that with this one and then here as well. So I think I've done everything, and you'll notice these breadcrumbs will change too. So if you don't see the dashboard or your trip plan name, you can simply just click on this X up here in the upper right corner. So let's go ahead and do that so we can get back to the dashboard and our trip plan. So now we're back in Jamaica honeymoon. I've gotten everything added that I want, my 2 destination guides, my 5 hotels, and then my 28 see and do items. You'll also notice custom places here. If there's something you want to add that's not listed within Travel42, this is how you can do it. So you can click the plus sign to the right of custom place. You can enter the website URL, which may help us fill out this form for you. But the only thing you need for a custom place is the name and the place type. So if it's, say, the airport they're going to be going to, or maybe it's a residence that's not listed within Travel42 that they're going to be staying at, you can put all of that information here and then also add a little description about it if you wanted to. Just be sure, again, this is a modal that's popped up. You can click that save button just to make sure it's saved. So next, we are in the collect tab. We've done all the collecting that we need for Travel40, or to send to our trip plan, to send to our traveler from Travel42, Next, I have a couple of options. I can click this little circle up here to the right and all my action items will pop up. So this is everything that I can do with this trip plan. I can edit the details, view travelers, I can send, I can print, I can copy the URL of this trip plan to put in my own email. I can duplicate this trip plan. I can delete or save and close. So the question about getting out of a trip plan, if I'm done with Jamaica honeymoon and I don't want to do anything else with it again, I simply just hit save and close, and that'll take me back to the dashboard. You can see that my trip plan is still listed here. So if I wanted to jump back into it, I simply just click on the name. Oh, and one more thing. There's another action items circle over here. So if you see these 3 little horizontal dots, simply click on it and the same action items will populate. So I can send, I can print, download, copy URL, duplicate, or delete. For now, I just want to open it. So I'm going to click open. So that's all you have to do to create a trip plan. I can be done right now if I wanted to and send, print, be done with it. But there's also a couple of other items that you can do. So you can organize it by changing the order of the information. So if I wanted my destination guides to show up one after the other, I would simply just drag and drop it down to where I want it to show up on the trip plan. Or I can physically put it on a schedule on the calendar. So if I know exactly when they're going to be staying at these specific locations, all I have to do is drag and drop it on the calendar and do the same for each date that they're going to be there. So now when they pull up this trip plan, they'll see, oh, I'm going to be in Jamaica from May 26th to May 28th. If you decide you don't want to do the calendar anymore, there's this little trash can here. Simply click on the trash can and it takes it off of the calendar. Now I can go back in and change the order or redo the calendar if I wanted to. Then you can go into the preview tab. This is going to show you exactly what the trip plan is going to look like when your clients pull it up in their email. So you'll see the cover page. This has my trip plan name. It has my logo, my headshot, my information. That's the business card information. This is the cover photo that it shows. So if I decided, I really don't like that cover photo, I wanted to add something else, something that I might be able to find on my own, I simply click the action items and then click edit details and then go into layout, and then I can add my own photo there and click save edits. But let's go through this. So this was the cover page. Then we have our trip summary that shows you what I'm going to be looking at. So exactly the order of how things are going to show up when I'm viewing them. Then I'll see my Jamaica destination guide, Ocho Rios destination guide, and then my hotels. This is all the information that I added into the trip plan. If I go through this and think, oh, there's something I really want to delete, there's something I didn't want there, I just need to go back to the collect tab and remove it as needed. So here's my hotels. If they decide they don't want to stay at the Jamaica Inn, and they definitely don't want to stay at the Moon Palace, I can delete those by clicking the trash can in the collect. Think of the collect tab as where you're collecting all your information. The organize tab is where you're organizing it, either by dragging and dropping it in a different order or dragging and dropping it onto the calendar. And the preview is where you would go in and preview the information that you're going to be sending to your trip, to your travelers. So let's go ahead and save and close out of this. And now we're back on our dashboard. I see my Jamaica honeymoon here. So if I were to send it, the last or if I do any updates, that's when the last modified changes. So if I go in and make any sort of updates, that's when the last modified will change. If I send this to a client, that's when the last delivered would change. And then once the clients open that trip plan, that's when the last viewed would change. So you'll notice we have some options up here at the top as well. News and alerts. This is where you're going to go to see updated destinations, recently updated hotels, travel alerts. That's powered by IntelliGuide, and you can view more alerts here. Travel Age West, Travel Weekly, and Travel Pulse blogs as well. Those are our sister products. This one is one of our newer partnerships. It's Sherpa. So we do have the Sherpa restrictions listed here. You can basically state where you're traveling from, where you're traveling to, if you're vaccinated or not, and it'll tell you everything that you need to travel to that destination and then back home from that destination. If you needed to purchase any sort of e-visa information for your clients to travel, you would do that under e-visa, and then help. This is where you're going to go to see any getting started articles, some live webinars and on-demand training, frequently asked questions, tips and tricks, and then support and troubleshooting. So the live webinars and on-demand training, that's where this webinar is going to go as soon as I get it uploaded to the help tab. But this is where you would go if you have any questions. You can also submit a request to us up here. So now back to travel42, let's go into the profile. This is all the information that you can edit on your side. This one has your business card and any preferences that you would request when you're utilizing Travel42. It also has manage account. This one I'm not going to go into. This one focuses more so on your user ID and password, also with your credit card information. So with credit card information, you can update that under manage account. Once you click manage account though, you do have to sign in again. And I also got, how do you add news and alerts to your destination guides? These are just for your information, the news and alerts as of now. We do have plans to allow you to add, let's say, some travel alerts or Travel Age West, Travel Weekly, or Travel Pulse blogs. But these are just for your information. This is just showing you some of the recently updated destinations, some of the recently updated hotels. And then this is mainly if you had any people traveling to these areas, this will allow you to be able to tell them, okay, there's something going on where you are. I just wanted to make you aware. So that is there. Now let's go in here to profile. I'm sorry, I'm getting some questions right now. Let me take a quick look. Okay, so one of the questions was comments in regards to hotels. You can leave comments. You just need to go into the trip plan that you're going to be working on and then add your comment here. Same as the legacy site was, you just simply click add a comment to the right. And then if there's something that we don't have within Travel42 that you want, that's where the custom place comes in. So let's say that there's a hotel that we might not have within Travel42, but you want it to be reflected for your clients. You just simply need to click the add a custom place and then add the information that you want to here, so it shows up for them. And another question, I'm not 100% sure. It's how do we get detailed information in format like what you have? Well, this is the new travel42 site. Maybe you're in the legacy site, but to visit the new travel42 site, you just simply need to go to new.travel-42.com. And that's how you get to this new website. You can also, I think, on the legacy site, if you're logged in, up at the top, it says, take me to the new travel42. So if you click on that button, that will take you to the new travel42 site as well. Your user ID and password will work in both. But back to the profile, I just wanted to quickly show you just what is listed within the profile. So this is all the information that you can add for your clients to see. You can remove and add a headshot or a company logo. Then you have some preferences as well. The client view preferences, you have report item preferences, email, and then search. So all of these are things that you can edit. It's just basically a preference is how you like to search Travel42. For instance, when I'm looking for hotels, I like to see the star rating. So basically that means I'm going to see all 5-star hotels first, then I'm going to start seeing the lower star as I go down the list. But you can change it to any one of these items as well. Just remember to hit save on that. So now back to the dashboard. Must be logged in somewhere else. I think that is everything we need to go through with Travel42. And like I said, this will be saved and put under the help tab. We also have all of our previously recorded webinars under the help tab right now as well. So if there's any questions you have, definitely start there. I just got another question. Is there any advantage to changing to the new Travel42 site? Yes, the legacy site will be going away. We do not have a set date on when the legacy site will be going away, but I highly recommend to utilize the new site so you can get a grasp on how to utilize it before the legacy site goes away. Once COVID hit, that kind of threw out some of our plans. We had planned on getting the legacy site taken away or deactivated a while ago, but COVID kind of messed up some of our plans in that aspect. And with the new Travel42 site, we do have what the legacy site does not have. It's a wider search radius. So when you search for things here, it's a little bit easier to do it. You have your Sherpa restrictions and e-visa information. We have hotel cleanliness links on every hotel within Travel42. And honestly, the legacy site is just, it was created, I believe, in 2011. So it's a little clunkier of a website. This one just runs more smoothly with the way browsers are today. And yes, all of your trip plans, all of your travelers will move from the legacy site to the new site. So if you get logged in right now, you'll still be able to see everything that you had on the legacy site on the new site. And I believe that's everything. Now, I know there's a lot of information to grasp. I highly suggest just getting into Travel42 and searching for information. Once you start using it, it will become like second nature to you. Then you can also go into the help tab if you have any specific questions. We have a frequently asked questions tab. As I said, we have the webinar tab. So if you prefer to watch a video, we have videos. If you prefer to read, we do have reading articles as well. But if there are any questions, please go ahead and ask those. I'll be on for another, let's say, 5 more minutes. And then we'll go from there. Somebody asked about browsers. With Travel42, we do recommend that you utilize either the Google Chrome browser or the Microsoft Edge browser. Those work the best with Travel42. And another helpful tip, I don't know if anybody ever clears the cache and cookies in their browser, but that is something if you ever experience website's acting up or running a little bit slower, then definitely clear the cache and cookies in your browser. And you can actually Google that based on what browser you have. So if you're using Chrome and you don't know how to clear cache and cookies, just simply type in Google, how do I clear cache and cookies? And it will walk you through how to do that. This webinar, as I mentioned earlier, will be recorded and it will be saved under the help tab. It might take me a couple days to get this done. We do have to paste it on our YouTube page. So if you do want to check out our YouTube page, it's under travel42. You can view all the webinars there as well, or under the help tab up here at the top of the dashboard. And there's a couple of different places to put to put comments or any information within a trip plan. As I said, there were the comments over here to the right. Then you have custom place, which you can add comments in as well. And then you can also add comments that will show up at the beginning of your trip plan under edit details, and then comments, which are displayed to the client. So those are all things that you can add if you needed to leave any comments. Also, when you send an email, if you click send, of course, you type in the email address of who you're going to be sending this to, but there's also a letter body in the email. So if you wanted to type stuff for your travelers in the body of the email, you can do it there as well. But there's lots of different places to add comments or add information. You can also say you have your own email kind of typed up and you just want to add this itinerary into your own email from your web provider or from your email provider. Simply click copy URL. That'll copy the URL of the sent trip plan, the trip plan that basically you see in the preview. And then you can add that to your email. And I don't think there's any restrictions on, I just got a question on the body of the email. Are there any restrictions in the number of characters? Let me get back to you on that. Would you mind providing your email address? I don't think that there is any sort of restriction on the number of characters in any of these. I would say if you're trying to type something kind of a little bit more lengthy, I would suggest doing it in the body of the email or in a custom place. So you can even put the custom place first. Like the custom place is going to be where you can put the most information. So if you're going to be typing something lengthy, do custom place first and then just organize it to where it's at the very beginning of the information. But I do think if you were to do the body of the email, which is I apologize. When you type it in the body of the email, I don't think there's any restriction. All right, well, I think we have covered everything. If you have any questions or anything at all, please go into the help tab once you're logged in. As I said earlier, if you haven't used travel42 before and want to try it out, you do get a 14-day free trial. Just go up here and click register now. Oh, and let me pull up my contact information. So if you need to get a hold of me, email address is honestly the best, just because if I'm on a phone call, I can't answer. So if you want to email me, my email address is here, but this is also my direct number. So if you need to get in contact with me by phone, definitely reach me by one of these two avenues. All right, well, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, my name is Larissa, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out to join me. I hope you guys will utilize the new travel42 site and let us know if you have any feedback or any questions. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.